On July the 15th, 2018, the Frisbee Pendulum ride at Askari Amusement Park in Karachi collapsed during operation, killing a girl named Kashaf and injuring more than 25 others. The incident occurred just weeks after the park's grand opening and raised immediate concerns about safety standards and regulatory oversight across theme parks in Pakistan. Videos of the collapse quickly spread online, prompting public anger and official investigations. What followed revealed a lack of inspection protocols and broader systemic issues within Pakistan's amusement park industry. So what exactly happened that day? Let's talk about it. This is the Frisbee Pendulum ride disaster. Askari Amusement Park opened in Karachi in June 2018, marketed as a modern recreational facility featuring imported rides and family attractions. Located near Old Sabzi Mandi on University Road, it was privately managed but associated with military-linked real estate entities, giving it an initial appearance of legitimacy and higher safety standards. However, the park had only been open for a few weeks when the fatal incident occurred, raising questions about how thoroughly its rides had been tested before public access. In Pakistan, amusement park safety falls under a patchwork of provincial and municipal jurisdictions. In Karachi, the Sindh Building Control Authority and local municipal corporations share responsibility for approving construction and operational safety. However, there is no centralised federal regulatory body specifically overseeing amusement ride installations or regular inspections. Most parks operate without consistent third-party audits, and staff are often untrained in ride maintenance and emergency response. Several prior incidents have raised similar concerns. In 2017, a ride at one theme park in Pakistan malfunctioned, injuring several children. In 2014, a mechanical failure at Joyland caused multiple injuries when a ride support failed. In both cases, investigations were limited, and no long-term safety policy changes followed. These recurring issues reflect a broader pattern: outdated equipment, lack of formal certification standards, and minimal enforcement. While many rides are imported from countries with strict original manufacturing guidelines, they are often second-hand and installed without manufacturer oversight. Maintenance is reactive rather than preventative, and there is little legal framework requiring ride operators to meet international safety benchmarks. The ride involved in this incident was commonly known as the Frisbee Pendulum, a large swinging amusement ride designed to rotate riders while simultaneously swinging back and forth in a pendulum motion. Similar rides are used in theme parks across the world and are typically operated at heights ranging from 30 to 40 feet. Riders are seated in circular platforms that rotate 360 degrees whilst being suspended from a large mechanical arm, creating a high-speed swinging arc. According to reports, the version installed at Askari Park had been imported second-hand from China and assembled locally. It had only been in operation for a few weeks before the incident. A post-incident inspection suggested that the ride's structural components, including bolts, joints, and welds, were substandard. Eyewitnesses later stated that the ride had showed signs of instability days before the collapse, including unusual shaking and loud mechanical sounds. Despite this, no maintenance or inspection was publicly documented. Park staff operating the ride at the time had limited formal training, and there was no visible emergency protocol or shutdown procedure in place. On the evening of July the 15th, 2018, the Frisbee Pendulum ride was operating on a trial run when disaster struck. At the park that day was Kashaf Dukhtar, a girl from Pakistan. There have been multiple reports about her age, from 8 to 14 years old, one even saying she had recently celebrated her 14th birthday, but I can't confirm which is true. Most of the sources say she was 12, but we do know she was one of 6 children and boarded the ride that day. She sat down and her safety restraints were put on. The ride set off seemingly without issue before disaster struck. According to witnesses, the ride was approximately 40 feet above the ground when it suddenly broke apart. Aslam, a bystander, described the moment saying, "There was a loud bang and people ran here and there." The collapse caused the passenger gondola to plummet to the ground instantly, sending riders crashing and being trapped under twisted metal. Emergency responders arrived shortly after, but it was ordinary park visitors who first rushed to free the injured. As the ride lay critically damaged, panic ensued. All of this was caught on camera. Camera footage shows people desperately trying to free the trapped, injured riders on the ground, as many were trapped under the wreckage. 25 passengers were injured, some from minor injuries to very serious. Tragically, once rescuers got to Kashaf Dukhtar, it was confirmed that she had died due to a serious head injury caused in the collapse. City officials reacted immediately, sealing the site and tending to the injured at a local hospital. The park was then closed down, and an investigation was launched. In the days following the collapse, the Karachi Commissioner formed a 3-member inquiry committee to determine the cause of the disaster. What they found was alarming. The Frisbee Pendulum ride had been imported second-hand from China, via a company called Zhengzhou Toxing Amusement Equipment. It was then brought to Pakistan by Sonia International, a local importing firm. The equipment was not new and showed signs of metal fatigue and poor installation. The inquiry found that 2/3 of the bolts of the ride's flange had failed, and the welding on the arm and seat joints showed a sign of rushed or substandard metalwork. The main shaft had slipped from its bearing, causing an imbalance that ultimately led to the ride's collapse. Investigators described the materials used in the structure as substandard, and the overall construction was marked as unsafe. The Sindh Building Control Authorities not issued a formal fitness certificate, and the park had opened without the completion of a third-party safety inspection. The operating company, Askari Park Management, was widely criticised for allowing the ride to run in trial mode whilst visitors were on board. Despite public assumptions that the park was backed by military administration due to its name, it was privately managed, and officials later clarified there was no formal connection and it was not military run. As public pressure mounted, the park was shut down indefinitely, and the Sindh Chief Secretary ordered a temporary suspension of similar rides across the province pending inspection. However, no sweeping safety reforms followed. There was no national regulatory authority for the amusement parks in Pakistan at the time, and the case exposed a vacuum in accountability. Several individuals associated with the park were detained for questioning, but only a handful of charges were ever filed. Media reports indicated that the ride's operators lacked adequate training and that no emergency response plan was in place at the time of the incident. Locals reacted furiously, one saying, "Askari Park should be shut down forever, for good. What a waste of innocent life. The culprit should be punished. But sorry, this is Pakistan. Who cares?" At her funeral, her father described Kashaf as the apple of our eye and said she was our reason to smile. Her mother added with tears, "These parks where money is given more value than human lives should be closed down." Their daughter had gone out for a simple evening of fun and never came back. The park was closed immediately after the incident. However, it was reopened on February the 13th, 2019 under new management and renamed Kashmir Park. They have since claimed to operate with international standards. As always, this is not an AI channel, I do everything myself, and if you appreciate my work, subscribe, and if you want to go the extra step to support the channel, maybe consider becoming a member. Let me know what you thought about this case in the comments below, and as always, thank you for watching.